Welcome everybody to this info session for the CCIR Academy's 2024 spring programs. My name is Oliver, and today we'll be talking a little bit about some of the programs offered by CCIR, some of the online research mentorship opportunities that we offer, as well as some other features of CCIR in general. Just quickly going over the agenda today, we're going to talk a little bit about CCIR as an organization. We're going to look into some of the things that make CCIR Academy distinctive. Then we'll dive into the nitty-gritty details of the two programs. I'll tell you how they work, the sorts of offerings that you can find there. And finally, we will open the floor up for Q&As. So CCIR, or the Cambridge Center for International Research, was founded several years ago by a group of Cambridge graduates. The overarching goal of CCIR was, at that point, to build a network of knowledge where students may connect with leading researchers and academics to expand the impact of research. To this general end, we launched a number of different programs, everything from fellowships for early career academics to various podcasts, policythons, essay competitions that are still ongoing. Later on, I'll talk a little bit about the essay competition in particular, but what you guys are here today to focus on is going to be the two online research mentorship programs that we offer. So at the CCIR Academy, what we're trying to do is offer gifted and talented students from around the world an opportunity to go in depth and pursue their intellectual passions through a structured and systematic way by doing research. There are several things that make our programs here at the CCIR Academy rather unique. And in particular, the things that I would emphasize are going to be the rigor of our programs, the quality of our faculty, and the level of support that you guys are going to receive through our program. So CCIR really takes pride on offering programs that have not only competitive admissions, but seriously rigorous academics. These programs are pretty intense. This is of the nature of the program that we're trying to really sort of push our students to the next level academically and intellectually. And we really want them to get a taste of what doing academic research is like. In this process, in this extremely sort of intensive and in-depth and rigorous course, you will be guided by some of the best faculty around the world. All of our faculty come from leading universities such as Oxford and Cambridge, Harvard, MIT, Stanford, and so on. And they're all current teaching faculty. They're leading researchers, oftentimes assistant professors and above. And beyond this, they are all passionate educators. Not only do we provide sort of a very, very intensive program led by some of the best faculty in the world, we also provide extensive support for our students in terms of publications. So earlier when I said that our faculty mentors are from some of the best universities around the world, what I really meant was that they come they hail exclusively from this list of schools. There might be a couple of schools I think that are missing here. I think UCLA should be up here. But the core of our faculty are coming from Oxford, Cambridge, the Ivy League schools, and top 15, top 20 universities in the US. One thing that makes CCIR rather unique is the extent to which we see the research process as essentially bound up with the showcasing and publication process. CCIR offers a really robust system of publication support for all of our students. A lot of our students are coming to CCIR not only to sort of go deeper into their academic interests, but also to build up their profile and to showcase themselves to prospective undergraduate or even sometimes graduate level admissions officers. One thing that we do to help our students in this respect is that we provide what we call targeted publication support. Targeted publication support is our system for ensuring that the students who want to publish their work through our program will get the necessary support to do so. We not only provide guidance and editorial support for our students, we have also, over the years, built up a proprietary publication database of 200 to 300 different publication venues where students are able to submit their work to. All of these venues are going to be vetted for legitimacy and for relative levels of difficulty. Different students will be able to produce different levels of work through our program. Not everybody starts at the same level, and not everybody will be able to reach the same heights. Some of our students are able to publish truly at extraordinarily professional and high-level journals. Other students are going to be sort of more suitable for things like high school level science fairs and competitions. What we're really trying to do here at CCIR is to help the students who want to showcase their work do so. This means that we want to be able to offer students a wide gamut of different kinds of publication and showcasing opportunities that are going to be suitable for their level. What we're systematically not going to do is direct students to what are called predatory journals. These are pay-to-play venues that really hold no water when it comes to building your profile, and we have no interest in sort of misleading our students to those sorts of venues. What we're trying to do is publish at top conferences and journals that are legitimate and yet accessible for our students. This publication support is something that extends throughout our program and even beyond it. Many students will come back to CCIR a year later and say, hey, I finally finished my paper. Would you help us publish this paper and give me some guidance? We definitely would in such a situation. A big motivation of joining a program like ours at CCIR is undoubtedly going to be for profile building and for admissions. Over the past few years, research has really become something of a trend within undergraduate admissions. And part of our own diagnosis for why this happened has much to do with the transition into what's called the test optional era. So what has happened since roughly now 5 to 6 years ago is that a lot of the elite universities have dropped the requirement for ACTs and SATs. This means that a lot of academically strong students now have one less way of showcasing their work. A couple of years ago, one of my independent education consultant friends and I had a conversation, and he mentioned that in the most recent round of admissions, there was something like a bloodbath for his students. The rise of test optional admissions has really meant that there's been a seismic and fundamental shift in the shape of undergraduate US admissions. The question that confronts a lot of you guys now is, beyond the GPA, in what other ways can I showcase my academic excellence? GPAs are terribly inflated. All sorts of schools will have more and more students are now coming into undergraduate admissions with near perfect grades. So what you're really looking for is a way to distinguish yourself from those other students. In this respect, a program like ours becomes extremely, extremely valuable. Being able to have those sorts of showcasing opportunities, being able to put that on your CV, being able to potentially secure a letter of reference from a leading academic can all be excellent, excellent ways to showcase your academic excellence in this test optional era. So according to UPenn, 30% of its 2026 class of freshmen engaged in some form of high school research. Over the past few years, what we've also seen is that Harvard, MIT, UPenn, Yale, Columbia have all put up dedicated guides for student researchers on how to submit their work. All of this points to the fact that research is becoming increasingly important and increasingly valuable within the undergraduate admissions landscape of the US. The relevance of research really does also shine through in the university admissions results of our own alumni. These are statistics that we just recently gathered. This is taking into account our students from the spring of 2020 to the spring of 2023. What we found through scouring the internet and scouring people's LinkedIns, as well as students self-reporting, is that 75% of our US applying alumni ended up going to top 30 US universities. And an astounding 30.8% of our US alumni, US-based alumni, US applying alumni, I apologize, currently are attending Ivy League schools, as well as Stanford and MIT. 30% of our UK-based alumni are currently at Oxford or Cambridge. These are really, really stellar and astounding results. Obviously, we can't take all the credit for our students. Our students are brilliant outside of CCIR, but we do believe that CCIR is often that tiny difference that ends up making all the difference in an extremely, extremely competitive undergraduate admissions landscape. So with all of that as background, let's dive into some of the nitty-gritty details of our 2 online research mentorship programs, beginning with what we call the Future Scholar Program. The Future Scholar Program is our highly selective online 2 to 5 student research program designed and taught by some of the leading faculty in the world. For the upcoming session, we'll be offering 93 courses in a wide range of subjects. What distinguishes these programs is the high level of structure, rigor, and intensity that characterize them. The way that these programs work is that each course is going to be composed of a small cohort of 2 to 5 students who are going to be paired with 1 faculty mentor in conjunction with 1 PhD TA. Every week, the cohort is going to meet once with their faculty and once with their TA. And over the course of 13 weeks, we're going to slowly build all the students up to develop, in each and every case, an independent research project. The way that this usually works is the first half of the program is going to be a lot more teaching oriented, and the second half a lot more workshop oriented. Take, for instance, if you take a course in bioinformatics. This is one of our more popular areas. What you will have in that course in the first half of the program are lectures on genetics and other sort of details within biology from the faculty member. And at the same time, you're going to get training in MATLAB and different coding languages that you're going to be using as you engage in actual primary research in the second half of the program. Depending on the specific course that you're taking, the kinds of research methodologies that are necessary, your course will look very, very different from the bioinformatics course itself. Nevertheless, this general structure of teaching students how to do research and not merely conveying certain basic concepts and principles is going to be characteristic of all Future Scholar programs. So earlier I said that we are offering 93 distinct courses for the spring 2023 programs. I will not be going through this list in detail. I would encourage you guys who are interested in learning more about these courses to go online and download the prospectus. The detail of each and every course, of what you're going to get out of it, who's teaching it, are all available on the website. Take a look there. If you have specific questions about specific courses, as I'm sort of slowly going through them right now, feel free to ask me about them in the Q&A, but we won't be going in particular in that much depth into specific courses today. Okay, let's talk quickly about the way that admissions works for the Future Scholar program. At CCIR, what we're really trying to do in terms of admissions is to make sure that we're getting students who will thrive in our programs. This means that we want students who are not only academically strong, but also deeply intrinsically motivated to do well in our programs. The concrete deadlines here are going to be March 1st and March 15th for the early and the regular admissions deadlines, respectively. I'll also say a little bit about summer applications, which are already actually open now as well, after I talk a little bit about the process by which the admissions works. The first step when it comes to applying to the Future Scholar program is to submit your application form through our portal. This is going to require you to submit a transcript of your most recent year. If it's in another language, if it's not in GPA, don't worry about it. Send it our way and we can handle any transcript that you send us. In addition to your transcript, we're going to be asking you for some supplementary materials that are optional and truly optional. We're going to be asking you for your standardized testing, writing samples that are going to be relevant to the areas that you're applying to, some sort of CV or resume, and whatever certificates or accolades that you might have that will showcase your strength as a student. Again, I will emphasize that these supplementary materials are optional and truly optional. They are meant to help you. Not having them will not hurt you. Qualified students will then be invited back to an interview stage after the paper round review of their applications. Now, the interview is going to be conducted by one of our PhD academic advisors. It's going to be a technical interview that's going to be focused on the areas that you're applying for. What we want to be testing is your background in this area and your on-the-spot problem-solving skills. We have detailed interview guidelines that you can follow on the website as well, and lots of tips about the sorts of questions that you'll be asked. All of that's available in the admissions portal, and I encourage everyone to go there and download that particular packet. One thing I'll quickly say about the interview right now is that you guys should not be too stressed about it. The reason is the students who get the interview are usually the students who've already passed through the paper application round. And so here we're really going to be just verifying some of the information that you share on your application. So if we see that you've done AP Biology, we will probably be asking you some questions that are appropriate at that level, just to see sort of how well you work and how well you think on the spot. Again, the details for the interview prep and the admissions guidelines are all available through the admissions portal, and I encourage you guys to go take a look at that. Our final admissions decision at CCIR is always going to be made by the professors themselves. This ensures that our professors are committed to each and every student that's coming into the program, and it also means that you will be admitted by the, not simply by us, the program, but by the professor, the academic that is guiding you in your research. Now, let me say quickly a word about pre-applying for the summer. Our summer course catalog is not going to be released until after April 1st, and that is going to be the pre-application deadline for summer. Pre-application students, because the course catalog has not yet been released, will be applying to the program more generally. You'll be given a conditional offer, and then once the courses roll out, you'll be given an opportunity to confirm which courses you prefer. Summer admissions are extremely competitive at CCIR. Our year-round admissions rates hovers right now at about 20 to 25%. In the summer, that figure almost halves to about 10 to 12%. This means that there is a huge early bird advantage actually when it comes to summer applications. We admit our students on a rolling basis at these three deadlines. We will first admit a cohort at the pre-application round, then we'll admit a cohort at the early round, and then the regular round. Some courses will be full by the time we reach the regular admissions round, especially for summer. This is just because of the demandingness of these courses, the demand for these courses. Each course only has 5 spots. And so we do encourage anybody who's thinking now about summer to apply early as possible. Okay, with all of that, let me briefly then move on to the one-on-one research mentorship program. This is our program designed for one student with one mentor to work on one project. What really distinguishes this particular program from the Future Scholar is its flexibility and its customizability. So if you happen to have interest outside of the 93 courses that are on offer at the CCIR, at the Future Scholar program, if, let's say, you have a slightly more convoluted schedule that's not going to jive very well with the Future Scholar program, in both those situations, you might want to look at the one-on-one research mentorship program. Here we work with an even wider network of 300, I think at this point, over 300, maybe 350 mentors in everything from topological physics to 13th century Spanish monastic history. This particular program has a rolling admissions and a rolling start date. This means that you can start the program and you can apply to the program really more or less whenever you want. In addition, this program also has a flexible structure and a flexible schedule. We offer you a 14-session package that you can structure and schedule according to your own needs. This means that you can do those 14 sessions over 10 weeks, 14 weeks, 20 weeks. You can sort of compress it and you can elongate it depending on what suits your project and your schedule the best. This is what we mean when we say that the one-on-one research mentorship program really allows students to study the way that they want and study what they want. The admissions process for the one-on-one program is similar to the Future Scholar with one or two small differences. The major difference here is that for all incoming one-on-one students, we require you to, before you even apply, schedule what's called an intake meeting. An intake meeting is going to be an opportunity for you to learn a little bit more about the one-on-one research mentorship program, and also to talk to one of our academic advisors about what would suit you best for your prospective one-on-one research mentorship journey. This is a mandatory meeting that we require all incoming one-on-one students to schedule. You can do so very easily on the website, and the subsequent steps are really quite similar to the Future Scholar. You submit your application, you come back for an interview, and once we have your application and interview in order, what we'll do is write up a profile for each and every qualified student in the one-on-one program and circulate that with relevant faculty members. So if you're interested in astrophysics, we're going to send your profile to several astrophysicists to see whether they're interested in taking you on at that particular time. What we will then do is set you up with a meeting, an introductory meeting with your prospective mentor. One of the distinctive things about CCIR is that you don't have to commit to the program until you've met your mentor. This ensures full transparency in the one-on-one program, and you actually get to know who you're working with. You actually get to meet who you're working with before you finally commit to the program. This also means that your faculty mentor will have a final admission say at that introductory meeting. Part of the purpose of this meeting is to make sure that you guys are aligned in terms of your interests, your background, and your goals with respect to the program. This is something that I mentioned earlier on already. For the spring program, our admissions rates is going to hover roughly at the 20% rate. For the summer, this is going to come down to roughly about 10 to 12%. I do encourage all of you guys, again, looking forward to summer, to consider the pre-application process. Lastly, let me say a word here about tuition and scholarship. So the tuition for the one-on-one research mentorship program is going to be around $6,500 US pre-scholarship. For both our programs, we do have merit scholarships available. One thing to note is that for the one-on-one research mentorship program, financial aid options are not available. For the Future Scholar program, our current tuition is $3,900 US or 3,300 Great British pounds. Again, we do offer a CCIR merit-based scholarship for the Future Scholar program. And in addition, we do also offer financial aid. Applying to the financial aid is pretty straightforward. You simply write an email to the financial aid office. Details are within the prospectus. They'll send you a form. You'll need to fill out some information, provide some income information as well, and then you'll simply be put on the financial aid pool. Financial aid is competitive, but we do want to support students who are capable, and we try to maintain a healthy population of financial aid students within our overall student population. A quick aside here, we've already wrapped up most of the info session, but what I want to quickly let you guys know about is our Cambridge Rethink Essay Competition. This is the only global essay competition designed by distinguished faculty from Ivy League universities in Oxbridge and MIT. I encourage you guys to go on the website, take a look at the essay competition. It's really, really interesting. You guys are actually also able to use your papers. If you end up applying for the spring program, you can submit those papers to the essay competition itself. The essay competition is free entry. We offer scholarships, cash awards. We actually have a dinner event at the University of Cambridge planned in the summer. All these details are going to be available on the website, and I encourage you guys to go check that out. This is another really, really excellent profile building opportunity that you guys should be looking into. with all of that, I will now turn to Q&A. Before I do that, though, do take note of my email here at the bottom left-hand of the screen, oliver@cambridgeresearch.org. On the right-hand side, I will remind you guys again that the Future Scholar admissions deadline is March 1st and March 15th for the early and regular deadlines, respectively. And the pre-application deadline for summer is April 1st. So with all of that, I'm going to stop screen sharing and open up the floor for questions.